Star Wars is quietly doing something right now that most fans aren't even noticing. They're slowly bringing back legends back into canon. And if that's true, there are three characters that could show up way sooner than people expect. One of them worked directly for the Emperor in secret. One of them represents a completely different kind of Jedi. And the last one might be the most dangerous thing Star Wars has ever introduced. And the craziest part, there are actually real reasons why all three of them could fit into the current timeline. You know what's been interesting lately? Star Wars doesn't feel like it's ignoring legends anymore. For a while, it kind of felt like that entire part of Star Wars was just off to the side. Like cool ideas, cool characters, but not something they were actually going to touch. But now it feels different. We're starting to see pieces of legends slowly being pulled back in, just reworked a little bit to fit the current timeline. And if they keep going in that direction, there are a few characters that make way too much sense not to show up. The first one is Mara Jade. Mara Jade is one of those characters that fans have wanted back for a long time. And it's not just because she's popular, it's because she actually fits into the current Star Wars timeline really well. She originally worked directly under Darth Sidious as the Emperor's hand, which already gave her a perfect connection to the Empire. And right now, Star Wars is spending a lot of time in that post Empire era where remnants are still out there, things are happening in the shadows, and not everything is fully under control. That's literally the perfect environment to reintroduce a character like Mara Jade. She doesn't have to change much at all to fit. You could easily say she was operating behind the scenes this whole time, and it would feel completely natural. Then you've got Kyle Katarn. Kyle is interesting because he's not your typical Jedi. He's not someone who grew up in the Order or followed all the rules. He's more of a soldier, a mercenary, someone who kind of finds his own path with the Force over time. And honestly, that kind of character fits really well into modern Star Wars because right now, the galaxy is in a place where the Jedi Order isn't fully rebuilt. Everything is kind of scattered. There's no clear structure, so a character like Kyle, who operates in that gray area, actually makes a lot of sense. He could easily exist in the current timeline without breaking anything, and he would bring a completely different perspective compared to the traditional Jedi we've seen. And lastly, there's Abeloth. And this is where things get a little crazy, because Abeloth isn't just another character. She's more like a force of nature. In Legends, she's tied to the deeper, more cosmic side of the Force, something ancient, something unpredictable, something that goes way beyond Sith and Jedi. And the reason she's interesting right now is because Star Wars has already started hinting at that deeper side of the Force again. We're seeing more mysterious elements, more ancient connections, things that feel bigger than just the usual conflicts. And if they ever decide to fully lean into that, Abeloth becomes a real possibility. Now, I do think she's the least likely out of the three, because once you introduce something like that, you're raising the stakes to a level that changes everything. But at the same time, if Star Wars is building toward a bigger, more cosmic story, she's exactly the kind of character you'd bring in. So when you look at all three of them, it's not really about if they can come to canon, it's about how far Star Wars is willing to go. Do they stay grounded with warlords, bounty hunters, or smaller stories? Or do they slowly start pulling in some of the biggest ideas from Legends? Because if they do, Mara Jade, Kyle Katarn, and even Abeloth might not be as far away as people think.